Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 5.
We begin with new information out of South Moorhead, where a man came home to discover someone robbing his house this afternoon. Good evening, and thank you for joining us. Moorhead police were called to a home in the 2100 block of 17th Street South around 12:15 p.m. The homeowner tells police the suspect appeared to be in the process of stealing property. He ran out a side door, and the homeowner chased him. That's when the robber pointed a handgun at the homeowner. Police say the suspect got into a gray or silver car. They canvassed the neighborhood but didn't find the robber.
It's a quiet neighborhood, and we usually don't have a lot of issues down here. It's a lot of single families and kids running around, and we don't normally have problems in this area of town at all.
Police are looking for a white man with longer dark hair. He may have been wearing a yellow hoodie with a dark-colored jacket over the top. If you saw anything suspicious, you're asked to give Moorhead Police a call, and we'll continue to keep you updated right here on Valley News Live, on valleynewslive.com, and on our Facebook page. Police in Moorhead are also looking for two people involved in an early morning disturbance inside an apartment just off of 8th Street and 2nd Avenue South. The tenant called police after a male and female acquaintance pointed a gun at him and then shot it in a different direction before taking off. Authorities say it was a type of shotgun that went off in the apartment. No one was hurt, but officers are keeping an eye out for a white car the male and female drove away in. Quiet but chilly today, and the wind died down a bit compared to yesterday. Hutch, do we need to cover up our outdoor plants tonight?
Yes, if you do have some tender plants outside or potted plants, you may even want to bring those in. The gusty winds did settle down a little bit, still gusting over 30 miles per hour, though, for portions of Lakes Country throughout the day today. 21 mile per hour gusts, our peak in Fargo. A cold pool of air, is swirling its way around low pressure in portions of southern Canada, and that's bringing that north flow that continues across the valley. Notice clouds in Minnesota. That is where the cool weather is. 40s in Bemidji, and it's nearly 40 degrees warmer in Rapid City right now. Quite a transition across our region. Temperatures slipping into the 40s when we hit the hay tonight, so it's going to be a chilly one out there, and the FM area could see some patchy frost. There's a frost advisory for the counties. You see shaded in blue there, Andrea. So covering the plants, not a bad deal. We're going to get patchy frost. Not everyone will see it, but certainly something to keep in mind.
Take precautions if you want to keep the plants around a little longer.
Exactly.
Thanks, Hutch.
Yep.
The last thing we want to hear on an airplane are the words "brace for impact." Today, airline pilots from around the country are taking a special aircraft accident investigation course at UND to make sure that never happens. Valley News Team's Neil Carlson shows us what airline pilots are learning to keep us safe in the air.
The new true-to-life movie Sully shows how geese shut down the engines of an aircraft, and Captain Sully was able to land on the Hudson River in New York, saving everyone aboard. Nick Wilson of UND actually taught safety procedures for that specific type of aircraft.
There's usually more than one contributing factor, incident, or contributing issue that may have caused an incident or accident. And so part of the investigation process is actually assessing each one of those layer by layer.
During the next 3 days, pilots from around the country will be here at UND Aerospace. They'll be studying different scenarios and the things that went wrong and caused airline crashes. In part, their classroom will be this old 727 donated to UND by FedEx. The knowledge gained here will be taken back to the pilots' respective airlines. Basically, you're trying to come up with things, if this, that, or the other thing happens, what procedure do you use to get yourself out of trouble?
Correct. So we would be concentrating on if this was a go-around scenario, if the pilots were to elect to do a go-around, we want to see where they had selected the throttles, what flap position, where the gear had gone, were there any checklists that they were running?
Some people say every aircraft accident is an opportunity to learn more about how these accidents occur. The more preventive measures we can put in place to make aviation a lot more safer than it is today.
In Grand Forks, Neil Carlson, Valley News Live.
To keep things in perspective, aviation experts say that statistically speaking, your drive to an airport is much more dangerous than the actual flight. It's the latest wrinkle in the ongoing Cass County property tax saga. People are still angry about the hikes. The city commission says they have actually lowered the mill levy, but with the rising property evaluations, it doesn't matter. We're still paying more. And one Fargo resident says it's affecting elderly people on a fixed income so much that they're having to sell their homes.
And those people are being forced to move out of their house and out of this community and away from families to a place that doesn't have the services that this place has, only because they can't afford to live here anymore.
We have put resources online from the city of Fargo to help those on a fixed income. Just click on this story at valleynewslive.com. The North Dakota Highway Patrol is urging drivers to use caution at the rest stops in the Jamestown area. The patrol has received calls from the public regarding 2 males in a paper-plated white Kia approaching them and asking for money. All incidents happened in the evening and early morning hours. The men left the scene by the time law enforcement arrived. And we'll have much more on safety concerns tonight on Valley News Live, 10 at 10. This story has been shared nearly 700 times from the Valley News Live Facebook page. You can follow the latest news, weather, and breaking news updates anytime on your feed. Just search Valley News Live, like our page, and you'll stay informed throughout the entire day. A last-minute plea from the last of 4 people charged in connection with a murder outside a Fargo bar last year. Jason Oyen was to go to trial today for murder and criminal conspiracy in the death of Joey Garsland. But just as the trial was getting underway this morning, Oyen pleaded guilty to manslaughter and criminal conspiracy charges. His sentencing date has not been set yet. A Fargo high school student is facing criminal charges and possible expulsion after police found a BB gun in the school. It happened at Fargo North High. School district officials say no threats were made, but another student told administrators that a boy might have a weapon. The school resource officer searched the teenager and found the BB gun. It was not loaded, and the student did not have any BBs with him. The student was arrested and taken to juvenile detention. He's facing charges of carrying a concealed weapon and preventing arrest. School officials will determine any disciplinary action after the boy goes through the juvenile court system. 2 people are dead after a 3-vehicle crash in Douglas County. The Minnesota State Patrol says the crash happened about 3 miles west of Osakis around 6 a.m. A semi-trailer had pulled onto the right shoulder on westbound I-94 when a GMC Sierra veered onto the shoulder and crashed into the trailer. A Volvo then crashed into the Sierra. The driver of the Sierra, 40-year-old Calvin Hess of Kenmare, North Dakota, and his passenger, 39-year-old Myron Bishop of Thompson Falls, Montana, were pronounced dead at the scene. Troopers are still investigating. A Fargo woman was ticketed in connection with a crash that caused a traffic jam today. Take a look at this. Northbound lanes of I-29 were backed up from I-94 to 52nd Avenue South. The North Dakota Highway Patrol says a driver rear-ended a vehicle ahead of her. She then tried to cross lanes and pulled out in front of a pickup. In all, 4 vehicles ended up getting hit and towed from the scene. No injuries, but 23-year-old Jessica Siebert of Fargo was cited for care required. A Lemoore man accused in a drunk driving crash that killed his passenger did not go to trial. Roddy Genskow's trial was canceled, and instead he changed his plea to guilty. But today, a Lemoore County judge did not accept the plea deal. Genskow is facing vehicular homicide charges. Authorities say he crashed his pickup into a tree in Lemoore last January. His passenger, 25-year-old Joshua Dolan, died. A new hearing date has not yet been set. Apple pie, apple cider, apple anything are signs of fall. While wet weather is causing problems for some farmers hoping to harvest their crops, it hasn't affected apple orchards too much. However, as Justin McKee explains, frost caused problems for at least one Minnesota orchard.
If you love to pick apples, heading to CCAP Orchard in Rochester is always a good call. The orchard is home to more than 7,000 apple trees and more than 25 varieties of the fruit. The weather plays a big role in how well the orchard will perform in a given year. Luckily, our recent wet weather has not had a big effect on the orchard.
The apples are doing fine. We have lots of apples to pick and lots of apples for sale. The wet weather doesn't really harm the apples. It actually helps the apple size up a little bit.
What did hurt the apple crop was a late frost in mid-May when the apples were in their early stages of development. 60% of the fruit on the trees was lost.
May 12th to the 14th in there, we had a couple cold nights, got down to 25 to 27 degrees depending on where you were at. And so most of the apple growers in southeastern Minnesota and western Wisconsin suffered some sort of loss, anywhere between 100% and 20%. It just depends on the elevation of your orchard in the area that you were in.
But as they do every year, the orchard will try to make the best of it.
Overall, there's still lots of apples. All the orchards still have lots of apples to pick, and there'll be lots of apple supply, I would imagine, all the way through Christmas.
Lake Ida Apple Farm in rural Lake Park, Minnesota is a popular spot this time of year. You could also try Maple Hills Orchard between Detroit Lakes and Frazee. 11 years of reaching out, helping people who truly need a hand up. And today, a benchmark in that rich history of selflessness. It's harvest time for Tim McLean's bean crop near Wheatland, but he can't do it. He's helping his wife, Carrie, who has stage 4 breast cancer. He's also taking care of his dad, who is sidelined with a broken hip. The crop is still being harvested, though, thanks to his neighbors and volunteers from service group Farm Rescue. The volunteers are planning to take 400 acres of beans off the fields over the next couple of days.
I was shocked, really. But I can tell you, after meeting all these people and being involved right now like this, tell you when I retire, if I'm still able, I'm going to volunteer and go do this.
The next stop for Farm Rescue is in central Minnesota. There's a farmer there who's going to get a hand with his corn crop. A local gallery is helping you create a masterpiece to take home at the end of the night. Parallel Galleries is offering fun classes this week, like their ceramic coaster making class and alcohol ink pictures. The gallery also features local artists showcasing everything from paintings to wooden spoons and jewelry. They're located in the lower level of the Black Building in downtown Fargo. To see a list of their events, go to valleynewslive.com and click on our Hot button for a link. The most talked about player in the NFL has been spotted in Fargo. Carson Wentz of the Philadelphia Eagles was seen at Hector Airport Monday night. He is, of course, a former NDSU standout and is likely here for this weekend's homecoming game against Illinois State. And join us this weekend for our Farmers Union Insurance Bison Football pregame show on KVLY. Coverage begins Saturday at noon, leading you up to the kickoff at 1 p.m. This week is the homecoming game, as we mentioned, against Illinois State. Why some homeowners are choosing to move out of state and how it could help your bank account. That's still ahead.
We had a chilly start to our day in Fargo in the 30s, but we warmed up to seasonal averages for this time of the year. It does look like warmer weather is in store, but more frost in the forecast as well. All the details straight ahead.